All right, welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III, I'm your host, and I'm glad to have you here. Got to start out with a quick apology. I have been so crazy busy with our business that I missed our episode yesterday, and as many of you know, I don't just record them in advance. I like to do them on the fly, and I want to make sure that I'm there for you. So your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, education begins right now, and this week, actually, let me give you... I'm going to give you a setup for what's going on this week, but really quick before I do that, the Daily Mastermind quote of the day. If you don't have the Daily Mastermind mobile app, go ahead and go over to iTunes or Google Play and download that, because we have got some really good stuff that we are going to be adding to that mobile app. It's free. There's no upsells. There's no subscription service. Just download that app. You've got meditations, affirmations, quotes, ebooks. I just uploaded a whole new group of ebooks for you there. It's all free, some of the classics, but also some very skill-specific ebooks. And then you've got the quote of the day, access to the blogs, the podcasts, everything else. So the quote of the day is from Flip Wilson, and it's, "What you see is what you get." I'll tell you what, I actually wish that was the case with most people, but what you see is what you get is what you should adopt as far as your philosophy of being authentic and real. And that's what I try to be with you guys. And so I hope you're that way in business as well. So this week, what do we have coming up? Well, as you know, we try to give you all kinds of different variations of inspiration, motivation, and education. And so this week, we've got some really good treats for you. Sorry, I've been speaking and doing so many meetings. I'm kind of losing my voice, but hang in there with me today because we got a real quick episode for you. But this week, we've got a couple of guest interviews. We've got Bronson Kafusi, NFL player, but also mentor, business coach. Individuals will really benefit from that episode that we have, that interview I do with him on some success principles. We've also got some a special guest business expert this week. I'm going to be sharing with you midweek some of my favorite motivation from David Goggins. Actually giving you a little audio of him as well. And we've got some lifestyle hacks on Friday. So tune in, don't miss out. We've got a lot of really good stuff that'll be designed to really help you overall, right? You've got to get your mind, body, spirit, your money, your finances, your business, everything in line. And so what I try to do is just really cover the gambit of ideas, things that I know would help me, things I know would help you. And so that's the goal. But we want to start the week out every week with a prosperity pillar or principles for success that you can carry into your week. And today I want to talk to you about, ironically, prosperity pillar number 2, which is I take personal responsibility. And what I mean by that is that, look, creating your life, which is our first prosperity pillar, I create my life, is important. But it doesn't really take on any traction in your life unless you're willing to take responsibility for everything that happens. You know, Tony Robbins says it's in your moments of decision that shape your destiny. And another way to put that is that in your moments of decision, you are going to have your destiny shaped regardless of whether you are proactively creating it or not. And so taking responsibility really puts you back in the driver's seat. And you need to think about taking responsibility as not a negative, but a positive, in the sense that it's very, very empowering. I want you to take the perspective for a minute that if you think about it, creating your life is a very proactive thing to do, but taking responsibility for your life and knowing that your life is where it is because you got you there. You're the person that's responsible for why you are where you are. That's going to be a very important and critical part of creating the life that you were meant to live. Understand that not focusing on the problem is done by actually focusing on solutions. Taking responsibility will allow you to start focusing on solutions. So when you focus on greater solutions for your circumstances, you're going to be happier. You're going to have more fulfillment. You're going to feel more empowered. And if you believe that you are responsible for your life, then you can believe that you can create the life that you want to create. It's really that simple. It kind of works together. So begin today to really start taking responsibility, because it's important for you to both decide and also commit to being responsible for your situation. See, a lot of people say, yes, I accept the fact that I'm responsible, but they don't actually follow through and make commitments to be responsible. So I want you to go a step further and make the commitment today to be responsible for your life. And a lot of us make decisions that we aren't staying committed to. So make the decision, but also make that commitment that you're going to do several things in order to make your life happen for you. Now, the funny thing is what'll happen when you start to take responsibility for your life, your lens and your perception of your life is going to change. And you'll start to view situations differently. You'll view situations with more optimism. You'll view them through a lens that allows you to create lessons and learning experiences and solutions, because you'll be able to move forward not focused on the problem or the circumstances you're in, but on solutions that you could create. You'll create those solutions and your objective will be shifted. One of the great principles I talk about a lot is one from Stephen Covey, where he talks about his habits of highly successful people. He says that there's a moment that happens before you respond to a situation, and how you react in that split second before that moment of reaction differentiates you from the average person that is average or successful. So when you have some type of a stimulus or situation or problem or circumstance in your life, and you're taking on the responsibility of your life, it'll help empower you to take a split second before you react and think about you being the one that's going to determine what happens from this situation moving forward. And it empowers you to be a little bit more proactive, a little bit more productive, and that's going to be very, very powerful for you. You may even have some struggles with that, but you can really get past it by setting the daily rituals in motion, or maybe even simply making the statement when things come up that I am responsible for my life. I take responsibility. I'm the one. And when you do that, you're creating your own power that's going to allow you to set your intentions of how the situation's going to go. Because you can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control what you do about it. See, I believe your intentions are very, very powerful. And I believe that you need to give yourself more credit sometimes for your ability to influence your life. Ed Milet said a couple of times, and I really love to go back to that you need to give yourself more credit for your intentions, not just your actions. And when you shift your perspective and you say, look, I intend to take responsibility for my life, then you got to give yourself credit for that. And already you're not only empowered, but you're making changes in your life. See, a lot of us judge ourselves, judge our lives, our jobs, our success, or even our actions. We hold ourselves to this level of standard. And when having the intention of taking personal responsibility, you can actually feel good about what you're doing in your life. And it creates your power, and it creates more acknowledgement of the success and movement that you're making. And these are things I want you to be able to do, and I want you to apply into your life. And so what I'd like you to do this week, as we go throughout the week, is I want you to identify a situation that you've been struggling with. What is something that you've really just either indirectly or unconsciously not really accepted responsibility with? It's something that you're struggling with. You feel like maybe, even though you don't say it out loud, that this situation's happening to you. It might be a relationship, might be a business, might be a circumstance. But identify what that is and just make the conscious decision that you are going to take responsibility for that situation. Even if you are not to blame, you're going to take responsibility, because even though you may have had no influence on why that happened to you, by taking responsibility, you're going to put yourself back in the driver's seat. And I want you to see what happens in your life, because solutions will start to present themselves. You'll feel more empowered. You'll feel more happy. You'll feel in more control of at least your actions. So identify that situation today, exercise your choice to be responsible, and let me know what happens. Let me know what happens. If you're struggling with that, hit me up on the Daily Mastermind on Facebook or Instagram. You're always welcome to email me personally. I get emails all the time. You can send it to george@g3worldwide.com. That's my primary email address, and I am the only one that responds to those emails, and I get them all the time. So you would be surprised how much reaching out can actually help to empower you in your life. And I'd love to do anything I can to help you. So that's my message for today. Like I said, download the Daily Mastermind mobile app. Like and subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of the episodes this week. And I'll look forward to talking with you more during the week. Once again, my name is George Wright III, and this has been the Daily Mastermind. Have a great day.